Chaile Time. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Chaile Time.
Last one for the year, Tsepo.
Yeah. Hey,
Last one for 2025.
We're reaching milestones, eh?
Hey.
Actually, we are growing, eh?
What do you mean?
We are growing.
Like the stomach? You must be specific.
As a podcast,
in this industry, words means everything.
As a podcast, we are growing.
As a podcast, yes, we are now on Spotify too. So the people can check us out on Spotify.
Growth. It's called growth.
We're busy loading all the episodes. I think there's like 110 or 11. This is 111th episode or something like that, right?
We're getting there. We're getting there. And we're educating people a lot of things. People are enjoying our chats. People are enjoying
all the nonsense we talk about, the legal stuff, the do's and the don'ts.
People are taking notes, every day. But I'm still worried about employees because employees ignore us up until the last hour. But that's
people will always just be people. People have the perception of what is fair or not. Tsepo, just this week, just come to what you're not saying. An employee, a manager at the company filed a grievance about unfair discrimination. The company set the matter down and simultaneously went to open an unfair discrimination case at the CCMA. So the company said, okay, well, look, then there's no point in double dipping, so we'll cancel the grievance and go deal with it at the CCMA. Then he resigned because we refused to deal with the grievance. Yes, okay, but interesting is he didn't file a constructive dismissal dispute yet. But now then he sent an email and copied me in. We object against us representing the employer. So I sent the email back to him and said, listen, we have a legal right to be there, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what do you want? What settlement do you want? You know what? Off the blocks. I want 18 months settlement. Yeah, it's amazing in this world, or when there's dispute resolution, me against you, the one party, both parties are guilty. The employee is always like, I want R1 million. I want 10 million rand. You see, and the employer is like, I'm not gonna give you anything.
You know what? I think we must pack that because we still got to talk more about that and our experiences throughout the year and the cases that we dealt with. And that one,
that's going to be exciting podcast today.
Quite interesting. Let's just focus a bit on current affairs. What's happening in this world?
Well, there's a few interesting things. There's a mining company, Glencore. Chipper, this is now interesting. Right? Glencore. They are sharing, according to BitTech, the news outlet, they are sharing 2,400 jobs. They're closing 2 smelters in South Africa. And do you know why? That's not according to the article.
Why?
Because of the unsustainability of electricity prices in South Africa. I can't believe it.
But I thought our president was part of Glencore. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he is one of the directors or something.
Tsepo, that's not the point. The issue is 2,400 jobs lost because of electricity.
No, the thing is that it's frustrating every week when we read, when you get a news article and then 6,000 is dropping there, a car plant is closing there in the Eastern Cape, Mercedes-Benz is doing this, Ford is doing this, Coca-Cola is doing this, Asule Metal.
Yes, they also.
You see now.
Same thing.
Over and over every week.
And Goodyear closed in PE. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, eh?
It's bad.
It's sad, eh?
It's bad for you.
But simultaneously, there's also good things. I think geopolitically, South Africa is now up there, especially with Uncle there in America, toying, kicking us out of the next G20. They're apparently having their first meeting now on 16th of December or something, and we're not invited. He amended the G20 website to make no reference to South Africa.
Uncle is obsessed. I don't know what's happening with Uncle Smart, but I think that's what you've always said. He's got this bullying tactic that is applying to everyone. And then if you don't oblige or if you don't,
You know, Chepa, the thing about the human condition or the human spirit, if you can call it that way, is if you look at, the more you oppress people, the more they come to the fore. If you look at apartheid, for instance, the more you oppress people, the stronger they come back.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, if you look at what Trump is doing now, I'm actually quite impressed with South Africa's response. We're showing calm, we're showing stability. And I've really been thinking about this quite a lot. If you look at America, for instance, every 4 years they have another president with another worldview. It's either Democrats, then it is Republicans, and they're so separate, But in South Africa, yes, you have the DA, ANC, and EFF, and we disagree. But somehow there's a Ubuntu, there's a common thing here in South Africa, So there's a lot of sustainability and consistency. So I think we are coming to the fore now, as a middle country, as I say it, we are coming to the forefront on the geopolitical environment, and we're starting to show leadership. And it shows in the SP ratings, our economic forecasts are improving. We somehow slowly but surely starting to kick the dollar's ass.
That's a great thing.
So I think, if you look at the Glencore, the negativity, all the retrenchments, it's not all just bad. I think there's some good news out there too. We just need to sort out our domestic situation, man.
Yeah, then we're gonna be all right.
You don't lose 2,400 jobs because of electricity, huh? In that industry, obviously, you will. I mean, they are so dependent on electricity.
Yes.
But this is a basic thing we should actually be able to sort out,
Yeah. So,
anyway,
what is our catch-up session?
Okay, today
about?
Today we're going to talk about playing to the theater. So we've been through 2025. So I want us just to talk about, all the tips and the tricks of the trade, everything we've experienced, how we dealt with cases. Litigation, when you sit around the table, it's not only about the law and the CCMA rules. Of course, that is critically important. I mean, the law forms the basis of any dispute. But there's a bit of a soccer game there around the table, you see.
When I say to you, it's not all about black and white. What was your comment?
These Indians too.
And colors.
But you see, so there's a lot of, let's talk about those fine nuances, those things we do, the things we say that nobody picks up, that actually makes a huge difference. What makes Tsepo and what makes Toby, so let's talk about that. And can I start?
Yes, you can.
Let's go back to 2025 and just look at some of the cases. I just need to type something here before I forget. This is because this is the last one that happened now. We'll be busy with currently. Okay, so the things we do that influence a case. Now we need to understand that yes, the law is the law. And often, certain parties don't have an understanding of the law, and that's fine, and that's a big advantage for those that obviously do understand the law. But the reality of the matter is, we sitting around the table, we are all human. We all operate firstly from an emotional perspective before we operate from a logical perspective. And in that space, people can be influenced. Not necessarily manipulated, but they can be influenced. People make up their own minds about what's happening around the table. So, last week, one of our clients received a default arbitration award against them for 23 employees who left the employer of the company, and they filed a Section 73A dispute to the CCMA. And look, they misspelled the email address of the employer, so we didn't know about this. And then there's this default award that came out. It said basically, we owe the employees 23 of their money for, among others, advance pay, notice pay, and annual leave pay. When you exit the company, you must pay annual leave. Okay, so we sent a rescission application saying, look, as far as advance pay is concerned, we actually have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, we don't know what advance pay is. Okay. Secondly, leave pay, it was paid. Okay, and we showed the pay slips to show that there's no dispute there. They were lying on their oath, just by the way. But thirdly, then we agreed that we owe them notice pay. Because that's the information I got from HR, is that we owe them the notice pay. So I applied for my rescission, sent it through, and they gave us an audience. The CCMA then set the matter down for a rescission hearing, okay, which was now last Friday. But subsequent to that, in the meantime, I now got hold. Now, remember, we were late already, and this is actually, there was a lot of work to be done, so we were late. So we applied for condemnation too. But I only personally got sight of the contracts of the staff after I submitted the rescission application. So, Chaile, then I noticed that these guys were all on fixed-term contracts. They worked on a project in KZN, you see. So then by law, notice pay does not apply. Just by the way, there's no such thing as notice pay, man. It is notice periods that you must work. So you must work notice. It's basically just, probably when you retrench people, instead of letting them work, you can pay them. But, if there's a termination in principle, people must work notice. So you don't go for notice pay dispute, unless if it's probably in the context of a retrenchment or something. Anyway, so I came there. Now I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Now, luckily, the CCMA rules was amended that when you do applications, you no longer have to submit an affidavit. You can only do a written statement. So I didn't lie under oath. Okay, but I obviously made a material misrepresentation here, even though it was accidentally done, that we owed them this money. So I came there. Therefore, they sat in front of me. This is now playing to the theatre. First of all, the commissioner was sick, so we had another commissioner. This commissioner never read the rescission application. So she just know we're there. She's going to find out now what is the issue, okay? So that is something you must take notice of.
Yeah.
Okay, so she doesn't know my mistake, okay? Secondly, I had all these people there, all the employees, and they were not represented legally, okay? So they represented themselves. But the thing is, they were in a joking vibe, mood, talking too much, and very sarcastic and actually rude. So when we sat there, the commissioner asked, as an employer, the people are here for claiming outstanding money. Does the employer owe them money? So I said, no, Mr. Commissioner. They all sarcastically burst out laughing. But now, where some people take offense of that, you mustn't take offense. This is playing to the theatre, you must, okay? So then the one employee, Mr. Nel, I think the way we should approach this session is like this. So I said, hold on. The commissioner is the leader, not you. She will lead us on how to deal with this. So she just starts smiling. Now, what the employees don't know is they're pissing off the commissioner.
Yeah, they're getting under the commissioner's skin.
I love it. Please proceed. Insult me as much as you can. I live on it, okay? But anyway, we so went through, and eventually the commissioner basically explained to them, listen, if you're on a fixed-term contract, the company, there's no termination per se. So you're not entitled to notice pay because you don't really work notice periods, okay? But now I've got this weakness still. Nobody's addressing that weakness. But one will ask a question, then the next one will ask a question, then the next one will ask a question. So eventually, the gentleman sitting to my left to the front, he then said, but they had a rescission application, and in the documents, they promised that they agree we owe them the notice pay, and it was stamped by some kind of a commissioner of oaths or whatever the case may be. But at that moment now, he was unraveling my weakness. As he spoke, I started coughing. The commissioner also had the little, what do you call this, mask on, the COVID mask. Yes. So sickness is a thing, you see. And virus is a thing. So I started coughing. And as I coughed, the next guy started asking a question. And they completely ignored that guy's question. So eventually we left, and the commissioner told him, it doesn't seem like the company owes you anything, but she'll make a ruling.
So
it's streetwise.
I think Tuesday or Monday, I was at the CCMA in Pretoria. One of our retail clients, so arbitration, I was with the HR manager and everything. Boom, the commissioner called us, and then the lady employee came with the lawyer.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, they just rock up there. We sat in, and then the commissioner will always ask, do you have a problem reverting back to conciliation? I always raise my hand first. I don't have a problem, commissioner. I don't have a problem. And then the lady was like, but yeah, we were here last time, and then they didn't want to pay me. They didn't want to. So why are we going back? The commissioner then explained the dangers of arbitration and everything. And then, okay, now, taking one step back, my philosophy is the first encounter, emotions are high. And that's what I've noticed. The first encounter, the person will want to see the HR manager there. They want to see their manager whom they believe that they were targeting them, but now because I go there alone, I neutralize the situation. I get to the theater, and in most cases, maybe it will be me who was there, a chairperson of the hearing, and I will neutralize the situation with the employee and say, "Man, no one got anything against you. If you can check 1, 2, and 3, and look at your future, think about yourself. I mean, you are still young. You are still 27 years old. Look at your age. I'll focus on those kind of things and say, if we give you a reference letter, it's not going to state that you were dismissed, and then your record is not going to be painted in red. Maybe you must consider this." Then I'm like, can I go and get the mandate? Out of the blue.
With a lawyer?
No. I'm just saying now, me. That's my philosophy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But now on the second encounter, I know the emotions are down because it's after almost 3 months now since our first encounter.
That's 3-month period.
You see now, it's
Magic.
very important. It's
Magic, very important.
So the lawyer comes in, and then the commissioner explained to the lawyer, but you know that you can sit in during conciliation. And then we spoke to the lady, and then the lady tried to explain a story and then tried to contest the final written warning that she had. And the commissioner was like, "Interpreter, please explain to her that I'm not going to entertain
You're not
the
here
warning.
for the warning.
You're
Yeah.
not here for the warning, but it's there. So she must understand." Then I'm like, "Commissioner, maybe she must go and consult with the lawyer outside." Because she couldn't tell us what she wanted.
Okay.
You understand? Then I'm like, maybe she can go and consult with the lawyer, but with us, we don't have any mandate. But I'll also take instruction to see maybe the HR manager will apply his mind to the right direction that we want. You know what I've noticed? Mm-hmm. That lawyer just got the file that very same morning of the case.
It happens so much.
So now that's where my theater part
They
comes
don't prepare well.
That's
they
where
just
my
pitch it
theater.
on the day.
And then you know what I did? Like always, unzip my bag, take all the bundles, spread them all over the table, unprovoked. Because now she's gonna sit and like, geez, these people are prepared. Mm-hmm. You see, spoke to the lawyer, then we come and then we prepare for arbitration because we couldn't find any solution there. Commissioner's like, "Okay, exchange documents. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes to peruse on each other's documents." Then I went to the HR manager. Then I'm like, "That lawyer is not ready for this." The HR manager was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "I'm telling you." So we went out there and then to the bathroom, refresh. We come back and I start tuning my witness and say, "These are my line of questions." I'm refreshing him now as per our preparations. When we come back, we sit down. The lawyer highlighted that, and the lawyer's like, "Can I permission to speak?" The lady did not tell me that you are offering a neutral reference, so I just spoke to her. "We will take the neutral reference."
He was not prepared.
Because when she was doing her application to represent, she read everything verbatim, word by word. That's where I identify that this one is not prepared. Because, if you did an application, you'll just read through and some of the things you'll read out of your head. You won't read like word by word. And then number 4, prejudice, this. Then I'm like, this is where I come
These
in.
guys are not prepared. But you're touching on something there, the wonders that time can play in dispute resolution, especially when it comes to settlements, potential withdrawals. At that first moment, the emotions arrive and people are angry at each other. But then, I always say, give settlement dispute a discussion some time. The fact that you started the discussion now does not mean, if you don't settle, that's the end of the matter. Let reality start kicking in. That book, we always have that book here, Never Split the Difference. Mr. Vos stated, in his negotiations with Islamic terrorists, his biggest ally is time. Sometimes it takes 6 months or a year to negotiate a settlement, to release a prisoner or whatever the case may be. You weary people down. I've got this classical example. But 2 months ago, a United Kingdom company who's got some offices here in South Africa, they dismissed an employee, one of their managers. But yes, this woman was aggressive. Oh my goodness. So she went to the CCMA. She filed 2 disputes, okay? And then she also threatened to file another civil dispute. And when we eventually had conciliation, I had this online. She was so angry and so aggressive that she doesn't give you a word to speak. And the problem is that she's she spoke to her legal advisor. Now, I could tell that was the AI lawyer, okay? And she had her own understanding of what the laws say and whatever. Anyway, so the company was offering her something like 120,000 and plus a loan that she took out from the company to buy a car. They will write the loan off. No, whatever, not good enough. I think she wanted R1 million or something like that. So conciliation failed. The next day I decided, let me reach out to her privately. So we had a bit of a Zoom. So that was a bit of a nicer meeting, a bit more cordial. And then we spoke, calmly. And then eventually when I touched on the car, I said to her, listen, you do understand that there's an outstanding loan to the car. But the moment I start speaking about the car, she flamed up again. Why are we talking about the car? The car is mine. It's got nothing to do with this case. So I was just like, in terms of your agreement, you need to pay all outstanding monies to the company by your termination of employment. So obviously they can sue you for that money. Anyway, I had to leave it there. Knowing that, sometimes time does magic. Prachtig, 2-3 weeks later. Ring, ring, I'll take the 120 plus the car money.
See now, the reality kicks in. Remember, in time, time.
Then you realize I'm hungry, there's no food, there's no money coming in this month for rent.
So, also about less than a month ago, I was in the Val at the CCMA with a union representing an employee. But now, remember last week on our Chaile, I asked you if a union can just come in and represent, even though a person was never a member. We had the discussion.
Yes, I remember, yeah.
So what unions sometimes will do, I'm not naming or shaming or bad naming people. What they will do, they will find that an employee was never their member. But as soon as they see an opportunity after an employee is dismissed, they will jump into that opportunity just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Or sometimes to show the workforce in that business that we do work. So I actually said it to the parties when we were sitting at that meeting. I'm like, it's okay, Commissioner, you can issue the certificate because emotions are high now. This is our first engagement. I will still reach out after this meeting, like you did. I will still reach out. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. What I was going to do, I was going to call that employee and say, remember your contract was coming to an end. We're offering you the 1 month that that's the salary that you were going to get for that last month. Unfortunately, you were dismissed a month before. Now we're offering you the 1 month to say, let's pay out that
the remainder
of your fixed term contract. It makes perfect sense because after November, you were not going to have a job.
Yes.
So I was still going to reach out to you and to say, those people are just using you as a weapon to get to us. Remember the case of who and who that we dealt with and then they lost against the company.
Mm-hmm.
They want to prove a point. Now you are being used as a weapon. Think about your future. Get your reference. Get your 1 month. I was going to reach out to her and tell her that. But luckily we managed to agree to giving her 6 weeks. We added extra 2 weeks on that.
Wonderful.
So like I say, with the time thing.
Yeah, but
another thing.
Yeah.
Skill that I have. It's emotions. I don't know how, but I can read the emotions. So one of the cases that I've done.
I think we all can do that.
Earlier in the year, I had an angry man. I think I spoke to it in a Chaile, but on our catch-ups now. The full story was this man got injured on duty. His arm got chopped off due to his negligence or whatever. I don't know what happened at work. But now he had a policy with Liberty Life where they check at the severity of your injury and then you're going to get paid a certain percentage. And then an investigation obviously is going to be done and an injury on duty process, which can be lengthy.
Yeah.
But now he was caught smoking at the non-smoking area, of which they work with machineries, there's fuel there. You are not allowed to smoke there. It's a zero tolerance. He summoned in a hearing, he got dismissed. Then he took the unfair dismissal dispute to the CCMA. Arbitration day, rocked up with a lawyer. Then I was with, I'm going to drop a name, I was with Kurt.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, Kurt, I'm going to teach you a skill or two. Just watch
and learn. Just watch the master, yeah?
The man started going out. Take out these COIDA papers. Take out these injury on duty papers. Take out everything that he was talking about. But nothing about the dismissal and to say, Then I'm like, my brother, I can sympathize with you. I can see you are a head man. I sympathize. You lost your arm, and it's difficult now for you to do a job that a normal person is doing. But remember, that's not why we are here. The reason we are here is because you were given an opportunity to look after the gate because you couldn't do your normal operation. You see now, incapacity process was applied to, you were given an alternative job. In that alternative job, you violated the rules and you got dismissed. That's why we are here. But it's fine. Give me all those papers. I'll talk to the HR lady at the office. Actually, when we leave here, we're going to drive together, me and you, in my car. We'll give your lawyer the feedback. He can go back to his office. I'm going to now handle you myself. We're going to drive together from here. We're going to go to the office. I'm going to talk to the HR lady to see how far are your payments and everything. Because that's all what you want. Yes, sir, you are right. Because they fired me because they don't want to pay me for the injury that happened on my arm. And I'm like, now tell the commissioner what to do with this case. The case was withdrawn, with the lawyer being there. And I took him on my car to the office. We spoke to the HR lady. She gave us the status of how far is the injury on duty payment and everything, and then gave contacts to the Department of Labor. I've never heard from that man ever.
Except you mentioned something about smoking at a place where it's not allowed. I recall 3 years ago, so I dismissed somebody at a construction company. They had this little house with this massive diesel tank in there. That's where they get their fuel from. But the tap was dripping a bit. You see, in Vrachtig, this guy had like a 2-plate cooker. He sleeps on the premises. So then we saw on the camera, it was his habit of near that dripping tap, there's a plug. So he'll plug that in, his cooker in there, then he'll make his breakfast for himself. Then I'm like, if that thing explodes, it's going to shoot him to the moon. And everything else with it. But anyway, yesterday, I was at the bargaining council. Okay. So this general manager, he and I had a discussion about him signing his contract because there was actually a disagreement between him and the employer in terms of the starting date. I think there's like a disagreement in terms of a few weeks. Anyway. And in the discussion, no, I'm not a violent kind of guy. I'm not going to sit there and scream at you or whatever. That's just not my style. Anyway, we actually didn't have a meeting with him. Myself and the owner had a meeting. Okay. But when I arrived there, I saw him outside. And then he said, no, he's there to apply for leave to go visit a family member in Brazil. Because he's South African, but he's not from South Africa, So me and the employer spoke about his contract and whatever, and then we called him in, and I spoke to him about this. And then out of the blue, the guy resigned. Piece of paper right there. So we the owner and myself, we look at it, we were shocked. We said, why do you want to do that? I mean, we were shocked.
2 weeks down the line.
Anyway, so he filed a constructive dismissal dispute. We're like, what? Anyway, so he pitched up. We had conciliation. The employer offered a settlement. No, they're not going to accept it. He had his lawyer. And yesterday, pitched up with his lawyer again. Now, interesting is now, because I'm the HR there for the last couple of years, I feel sometimes employees get a very wrong understanding of our role and who we are. Because, I'm a nice guy. I'm a gentle kind of person, a bit more of a chameleon, But anyway, so people get the idea you're this nice, kind, soft person. We can just run over you, whatever the case may be. And so yesterday we came there. So he had this lawyer, very knowledgeable, you can see, but he's a bit of a circus. It's just like he's all over the place and whatever the case may be. So at some point when he took a breath, I asked the commissioner, it was arbitration yesterday, can I just balance the scales here a bit? So he said, yeah, give your input. So then I look at the employee and say, listen, meneer, we've tried to settle with you. It's not working, okay? Have your clown here told you, I didn't say clown, but I did say lawyer, but in my heart I felt clown, tell you that arbitration is with prejudice. I honestly don't believe you have merits for a constructive dismissal case, okay? Because you and I had a meeting when you resigned, And I'm telling you, there was no constructive dismissal here, okay? I strongly recommend, for your future sake, you withdraw this case. You look at his lawyer, no, they're not going to withdraw, he's going to continue. But then the commissioner, the one against those theatre moments, said, but listen, he only has an hour. So we have 3 witnesses, so we need the whole day. So he can't arbitrate now, okay? He directed us to, on our own time, to go do a pre-arb. And then the lawyer starts saying again, but listen, this is an injustice to my staff member. He resigned after following a due process. And when he said that, I look at the lawyer and say, you are lying. And you know what lawyers don't like that.
Yeah.
You can't tell a lawyer is lying. Yeah. This is offensive and this is so unprofessional. And, I belong to the Johannesburg bar and, I can be taken to task if I lie. Are you saying I'm a dishonest man? So I said, you are a liar. I looked him straight in the eye. There was no process followed. I had the meeting with him. Okay? He knows why it is. But then I look at him, he was just sitting there like this. Okay? And this guy will start fuming there and whatever, So, and again, then he's asking, Mr. Commissioner, we'll go for a pre-arb. I just hope that it can be more in a professional tone. So I said, it can be in a professional tone as long as you don't lie. But you see, when we left, I went around the table and I greeted him, like I normally do.
Yeah.
One hand on the hand and other hand under the arm and
Yeah.
said, listen, what is your name, sir?
Yeah, that's actually how you do it.
But the thing is, I wasn't really talking to him. I was influencing the manager, because up to that point, the owner's always nice and kind and willing to settle.
When you meet them at the CCMA,
It's different.
they see a different person, a thespian. They
Yeah.
don't know that you're a thespian with a big script that you're going to play it out of that big theater, and then your audience is that lady or a gentleman.
And
that
even the tsepo in conciliation is not the tsepo in arbitration. It's completely
No.
different.
It's not the type of who's like begging you and then polite and then let's hear what he wants. Let me go and get instruction. Let's see how we can resolve
But
this.
Tsepo, I've got this one more story. It's more a question I want to ask you.
Okay.
Playing to the theatre at its best. Opportunism. Okay, so this is in the roads right industries. This employee applied for or referred an unfair dismissal case. The matter was sat down for conciliation. On the day of the conciliation, there was no water, so the conciliation didn't actually take place. Now, months later, 76 days later, they're applying for arbitration, but in addition, now he's got lawyers. They are now applying for a condemnation application, believing they are out of time.
They're still within the 90 days.
But this is now the thing, in terms of the Section 191 and in terms of the CCMA and the Bargaining Council rules, when an employee's got 30 days to refer a dispute to the, let's say, okay, in this case, not the Bargaining Council, they've got 30 days to refer a dispute to the Bargaining Council. Now, the employee can apply for arbitration either at the time when the conciliation remains unresolved, you'll get a certificate of non-resolution, or after a period of 30 days that you refer the dispute. Because sometimes for an administrative reason, the Bargaining Council or the CCMA may miss your case and actually don't set the matter down. So you don't have to wait indefinitely as an employee either. So either you can apply for arbitration when you get a certificate of non-resolution or after 30 days have lapsed since you filed the dispute.
Yes.
Now, what happened here is because there is no certificate of non-resolution because there was no water on that day, now they've got 90 days from 30 days. But now here's the magic. The conciliation typically or often will be set down before the 30 days. So maybe after 21 days or 20 days, I will set the matter down for conciliation, like in this case. Now, conciliation didn't happen. Now they've got 90 days from the 30 days. So they are actually still within time. Those lawyers are not realizing it. Should be opposed or not? Should be opportunistic and say, yeah, Mr. Commissioner, we agree. It is completely unacceptable that they are out of time. And just by the way, this is where the opportunism is coming in. The employee actually doesn't have merits, as far as I'm concerned. Should we oppose that condemnation application? Yes or no? I wonder what the audience thinks. Should we be opportunistic? because the lawyers are, you see, this is the thing. Often lawyers are specialized in criminal or civil law. They don't understand the CCMA rules and the LRA. They don't understand timelines. So in their mind, they're just late, but they're not really.
Let me give you an honest response.
So should we jump on the bandwagon?
Yes.
Oh,
Let me tell you why.
why?
As much as employees think that the council or CCMA, it's a cash cow,
Mm-hmm.
and they always go there, play victim and everything, why can't we take an opportunity where we see a loophole? You know, sometimes we can settle a matter whereby we know that actually this employee didn't have a case, but just to get rid of the case, to say, you know what, let's just close it. We give him 2 weeks. That's why my negotiation skills has improved so much, because I don't want to give you that satisfaction of saying you're going to go around and tell people that, yeah, I took them to the CCMA and now they paid me, because that's not what we do.
Yeah.
We settle. You understand?
So
So
why
now,
can't we exploit?
why can't we also?
Why can't we exploit lawyers who are greedy, who's milking their own clients, but they don't know what they're doing? So why can't we exploit them?
That's what I'm saying. Let's object. Let's oppose. That's what I'm saying.
We'll see.
We see a loophole, we use it,
We'll see.
because we are reading the situation. Like, we are reading the room when we are there. We are reading the situation, and you're saying, this is an opportunity, then I'm going to take it. Why not? Yeah.
Tsepo, that's for 2025. Last podcast, last Chaile time. I want to wish our followers a fantastic festive season, Christmas, New Year. May your 2026 be so great that you're going to be wealthy. You're going to learn a lot. New chapters in 2026, going places. Yeah, so from my side, thank you for joining us this year, and hopefully there'll be many more to come. And I hope also that you will have a nice rest. I think you're going on leave. Your last day is the 12th. Just make sure all your hearing reports are
I don't want to put it.
are done before you go on leave.
I don't want to put it down as like, yeah, because I saw the storm is coming. Anyway, Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. See you next year. Bye.
Job review.
Oh,
We
I
have
thought
job.
I thought we are closed.
No, but this is job review still. Sharp.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Good morning, Harmony people. Let's have a look at some of the vacancies posted nationwide on our Harmony People's Network this week. First up, a well-established multinational financial services business is seeking a qualified, highly skilled and proactive group accountant. Multiway Technologies is looking for an experienced business analyst to join their team. In Honeydew, there is an opportunity for an accountant, and Qualitative Innovative Solutions is seeking a skilled system developer. For the full information of the mentioned positions, how to apply, as well as more available positions, find the vacancy link in the description. You will also find a link to a useful video on how to compose a winning CV and have a successful interview. Tune in again next week for more Harmony vacancies.